Welcome to the Alsco Uniforms It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Join us as we spend time with Alsco Chief Operating Officer Jim Kearns to discuss this season's theme, Growth is Our Water. In this podcast, we'll talk about observations from the field, celebrate big wins, and identify industry best practices. I'm your host, Dana Craig. Let's get started. Good afternoon, Jim. How are you doing?
Great, Dana. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So we've got a lot to talk about today. I think we're going to start out with your most recent visits to some of our branches. Where did you go this time?
So this time we went to Vancouver. We were up there in a blizzard during our board meeting in January. So it was nice to go back with some rainy weather. But it was nice to go back to Vancouver. From Vancouver, we went to Seattle, and then from Seattle, we went to Billings.
Okay,
So,
Billings, Montana, right?
Billings, Montana.
Okay, so
yep.
little triangle there. So Vancouver, as I know you know, but one of our brand new facilities.
Yep.
We've been in operation coming up on just a year. This was your second time having been there?
Second time,
Okay.
second time.
And so how were things looking, and how did your visit go there?
Look, the facility looks terrific, right? It is state of the art. It's got beautiful landscaping. So when you first drive up to the building, the curb appeal is amazing. It must be a terrific place for employees to go to work. Inside, it's highly automated. It's a terrific facility. So look great.
And did you have a chance to get out on the dock there, meet any of the RSRs?
Yes, we spent some time on the dock, talked to several RSRs, but there was one gentleman in particular that is worth talking about. This person was a sales-focused RSR. I mean, we asked him, look, what can we do to make your job better? He says, you need to give me more time to sell. And so he was very impressive. And he had past experience doing it, and he was talking about potential big direct sales he was going to make at a college that he serviced. So he was terrific. And Kelly Johnson was with me when we talked to him, and we thought, boy, wouldn't it be great to have, a lot more of these people out.
And so that was Orlando Lapatan. I'm hoping
Orlando,
I'm saying his last name right. And I recall meeting him when we took Surrey, Vancouver live, and he was quite lovely. I didn't realize at that time that he was a sales-focused RSR, but it sounds like that was brought out in your conversation with him.
Very much so.
Yeah.
He was very impressive.
Okay. And then, and I think he was was this him as well, that he sold a tire shop that was a different one?
This was a different RSR who brought in a lead of a tire shop that I think impacted multiple branches. It wasn't just, the tire shop on his branch, but he helped get that account signed off. So he was paid a commission, and it benefited several branches. So another big
Several branches or several routes?
Or several routes.
No, that's fabulous.
Yep. Yeah. So he was great.
Yeah. So it sounds like they are taking the LEAD program seriously, taking the Growth is Our Water and sales-minded focus seriously. Did you see that through the rest of the departments as well, the district managers, general manager?
We did. We sat down and as we went through a presentation with those folks, they were doing a great job renewing accounts. It sounded like they had some big wins, they were talking about. So they seemed very sales and service focused. So they were focusing on making sure that the customer experience was great. They were definitely adopting the Growth is Our Water motto. So
well, that's great to hear. And like I said, they've only been in their new facility a little less than a year. Some things still settling down, of course,
right.
Which is really not to be is not unexpected.
Right.
But it sounds like they're getting after it. And
I think things get better there each day, and the opportunities in the future is very bright.
Oh, that's that metro area is really a great place. Yeah. And they have a lot of garments there too, which I think is, they do a lot of food and beverage. Of course, the downtown metro Vancouver area really plays into that, but they do have quite a bit of garments. Yeah,
they do have a lot of garments. So target market opportunities are good there. They have a lot of competitors, but they do a great job in Vancouver. I didn't see much healthcare. That might be an opportunity for them. But they do facility service. They do a lot of garments, and they have some, terrific F&B accounts.
Yeah, Great. Okay, so from one side of the border to the other, I think Vancouver and Seattle may be similar distances from the border. So you
Right.
went on to Seattle. That
Right.
plant we've been in about 10 years. Is
10
that
years,
roughly
right?
right? Okay, and so how did that visit go? What did that look like?
So the plant, again, the plant looked fantastic. I have two boys that live in Seattle, and so I'm very familiar with that facility. I was there multiple times when we just owned the ground, and then I was there as that plant was built. But it's a terrific plant, so it looked great. It has great curb appeal. It's a really nice facility.
And they have a lot of excess capacity, I would say there. Is that right? They've got a lot of opportunity to grow.
Yeah, that's the one thing that when we went into that plant, it's similar size to what it was 10 years ago, but it could do a lot more business there. And so, and again, it's in a terrific market. So I think going forward, we're going to be very aggressive in bringing in new business into that plant. Today, we have a fully staffed sales group, and we haven't had that for years. So we're very excited about that. I mean, a lot of these folks have great experience, so it's the future looks bright for Seattle. I expect a lot of Seattle going forward.
Well, and it sounded like you had mentioned a few recent staff, maybe they weren't recent, I'm not entirely sure, but some staff movements. So a new service manager who had come from a competitor,
Right.
So was coming in with some sales and service experience. The previous service manager moving into an RSM or regional sales manager position. And then we had a new production manager, and it sounded like that person was really doing a pretty fabulous job in terms of improving efficiency. And you mentioned the quality of the product was really incredible.
So the production manager today was an assistant production manager for several years, but he's been in charge now for I'm not sure exactly how long, but maybe a year or more. But he is doing a fabulous job. And like I said, the plant looks as good today as it did when it opened. That's 10 years later. So 5S
It's a big deal.
5S is being maintained at a high level there. Turn times, look, we'll have to check my dates, but over a year ago, their turn times were 30 plus, and today they're like in the 7 to 8 minute range, which make them, best in class in our company.
Right.
And I asked the production manager, what he did, and he just said that, look, we're working smarter today, and so he made some changes that have had a very positive impact.
And then you finished your visits up in Billings.
Right.
And talk a little bit about your visit there. Older facility, certainly not the 10 years of Seattle or the less than 1 year of Vancouver.
So I'm not sure how many facilities I've visited in, at Alsco worldwide, but Billings was one of the places that I've never been to before.
Okay.
So it was my first trip to Billings. So I was excited to go. I've never seen Billings. When you pull up to Billings is a long, narrow facility, and they resurfaced the asphalt and the parking lot. So the outside of the facility looked good. The inside of the facility needs some work, right? And so we have opportunities to do a few things that will help improve the efficiencies inside the building. And unfortunately in Billings we're in a rebuilding phase, right? We have a new GM, we have a new production manager, we have a new service manager, we have a new engineer, who I will call out. This guy came to us not from a competitor, but from a local hotel where he served as the chief engineer there, and they had an on-premise laundry. But he's made, he's made some really significant improvements with their equipment there. And what I liked about him a lot was he was focused on safety. A lot of the things he did was focused first on safety. And so that was terrific. And he's got, he's built a good engineering team, and that the equipment is coming back up to standard. And so he's done a great job. He was very impressive.
You are listening to the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast, brought to you by Alsco Uniforms, the worldwide leader in hygienically clean laundry services for uniforms, linen, floor mats, and restroom supplies. Need first aid services for your industrial, restaurant, or healthcare business? Alsco Uniforms has you covered.
Wanda Joiner is our general manager
Yep.
in Billings, and she has a bit of a history with Alsco, service manager, rock team, AGM, and now we brought her into Billings. And like you said, it's a rebuilding effort, but it
Right.
sounds like she is rising to the challenge and starting to make some improvements there.
Yes, I mean she's definitely up for the job, right? And her background is perfect
Definitely.
for the challenges that she has ahead of us. She's a service oriented person, and I have heard stories where she's gone out and done some things that we weren't doing in the past that really have had an impact on the customer experience, right? And so we've had issues that she's going out and addressing in the field head on, and so. Yeah, I think she's the right person for the job right now.
Well, we'll be excited to see how she turns things around there with not only herself, of course, but a lot of her staff members. And one thing I know that you had mentioned to me, which is a bit unique in our industry, 5 or 6, I think it was 5 female RSRs.
Right.
So did you have an opportunity to speak with any of them?
Yeah, we spoke to a couple of them on the dock. One in particular is kind of a standout. She services this one particular account that I'm aware of that's had some issues in the past, and Wanda is very confident that she's taking great care of that customer today. And so, yeah, it's terrific. We saw another one that was being trained on the route, but yeah, they don't have a bias against female drivers. They do a great job in Billings. I think it's an opportunity for us. I mean,
Absolutely.
I think we've kind of overlooked that in the past, and so Billings is demonstrating that it works. Women do a great job out on the route. Great customer experience. So it's terrific.
Okay, good. And then we have, she's got lots of new staff positions there. It sounds like Wanda's doing a really good job. And so hopefully this will not be your last trip there, one in 30 years. Maybe you'll head back at some point.
No, I think this is one that, we got to pay close attention
it's
to.
worth keeping an eye on.
And so it won't be 30 years before I go back there. I'm guessing I'll be back there in the next year or so.
If you go back in 30 years, it might look a little different.
Might look a little different. And
You
I might look a little different too.
Okay.
But it's a great market. It's a great opportunity
It is a
for
good
us.
market.
And it has been in the past, right?
And it sounds like they have tentacles into, 2 depots, one in Helena, one in Bozeman. I mean, there's a lot of geography there, but a lot of opportunity too.
And so it's a great market. We will get back to where we were before, because like I said, it's been a top performer in the past, and it will be again soon. Yeah. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we're definitely on the right track.
On the
for
way.
Sure.
That's fabulous. And so your next visit, so that was 3, 1 in Canada, which is Region 4, 2 in Region 1. And then you're going back to Region 4 on your next visits. Where are you heading to?
Before that, next week I'm going to go to.
That's right.
Next week I'm going to go to Lanham and Alexandria and watch Tim Jones do a Route Room Roadshow. And so I'm very excited to go see that. So maybe on another podcast we can talk about how these roadshows went. But so that's next week. The week after that, we're going back to Canada. We're going to do Quebec City, Montreal, and Toronto.
Okay, good. Quebec, quite smaller area, but a lot of tourism, a lot of opportunity there. And then Montreal and Toronto, of course, 2 of the largest metropolitan areas in Canada. So that should be interesting for us to hear about. So, Jim, the other thing that we wanted to talk about today was our Summer Slam promotion. Right. And so this was a way for us to get our sales and service teams really excited about building their relationships both with new and current customers. So tell us a little bit about what the offer is there.
So the offer is to provide our customers some savings, right? Up to 6 weeks complimentary service. So it's an opportunity for our sales team to go in and provide an incentive for customers to sign up with Alsco today, right? Is
it just for, so that's on the sales side, but it's not just for new customers,
It's not just for new customers. It's a chance for us to provide a benefit to our existing customers. Mm-hmm. We're going to offer them the same deal if they renew with us, right? So they can get savings on service if they renew with us for, a 3-year period of time or longer. So it's a good deal for our service departments. It's a great way to give back to our customers who've been loyal to us. So
Absolutely.
we're very excited to do this.
Yeah, and really probably can't come at a better time for our customers given some of the economic climate.
For sure.
And yeah, so it sounds like our operations, our sales and service people have certainly responded to it well. Is that the word on the street that you're getting to?
Yeah,
They're
we've
pretty
got
excited
some
about it.
some really great early wins. So it's definitely making a difference. I think the feedback that I'm getting is that our new customers and our existing customers really appreciate what we're doing for them with this promotion. So
yeah, and
it's
I think it's
terrific.
important too. We're happy for current customers to be proactive about if you haven't been approached by someone from the branch that services you. We're happy for you to proactively approach them
Right.
and see what the eligibility requirements are there and whether or not we can provide them the same savings, which would be great.
I was excited to see when we were out on the dock in a couple of the locations that we last visited, they were aware
They
of
were
the
talking
program.
about it?
They were
Yeah,
talking
great.
about it. And
Yep.
so this is something that should generate a lot of buzz with our sales group, but also with our service team.
Yeah.
And it's just a great opportunity to help us, get our customers under new contracts. So,
Right. And in Q3, it just gives us a point of focus and really being able to work with our
Right.
customers to get to that final yes. So we've already had some early wins that I wanted to share with everyone. The first one I'll talk about is Twin Cities Surgery in St. Louis. So Michael Cooksey in St. Louis, he'd been calling on a surgery center. He did that his first week with the company. So this is a new SC, started in April. So that's how long this conversation has been going. But with utilizing the Summer Slam, he's been keeping tabs on the account since then and was able to use that as a way to finally close that business, earn that customer's business. So that one is pretty exciting. We also had one in Vancouver. Again, that would have been through the branch that you just went to. And this is a company in Langley, which is not far from Surrey, called the Barley Merchant. Key location, great brand, well known in British Columbia. The chef and the owner is well known in the industry. So this is somebody that we've been also pursuing for a long time. And we were against other competitors. There were 5 people bidding for this business. And we had made multiple different offers to try and get ahead of the competition on this, but we weren't finally successful until we agreed to final pricing, and then the Summer Slam kind of came in and pushed us over the edge. So big win for Vancouver and a marquee customer, hopefully, that we can all be proud of for a long time.
So great stories.
So great that I have 2 more for you.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we've got Stove and Company. So this is another account, been working on it for some time. And this is kind of the classic use case, I think, for the Summer Slam promotion. Either a sales opportunity that we've been working on for some time, and this is the thing we think will finally get it over the mark, or a customer renewal that we've been talking about for a while and want to kick this over the mark. So in this one, Gary Campbell and Dan Lennon called back the customer with the Summer Slam promo, once it was made available. And that's what made the difference. They installed both restaurants the week. We'll install them, it sounds like, in the next week or 2. Then there'll be 3 more restaurants after that and 2 more after that. So this is a really big deal for those guys. And it's a steakhouse, Joey Chops. It's a steakhouse we've tried to get for years, and so they're pretty excited about that one. Last one I'll share with you, out of Texas, Marcos Jimenez and Brad Cox, who's the national sales manager in that area. And so this was on a renewal. So we renewed 22 locations on a 60-month agreement for a company called Glorias Latin Cuisine. And so this represents a lot of really important revenue in that food and beverage sector. It spans over 5 branches. So that's not only beneficial to a single person, but with 22 locations, that's going to be pretty significant.
So I think it's the right incentive at the right time,
yeah.
right? And I think that I encourage the sales team to take advantage of it, and I encourage our service teams to take advantage of it. There's no better time to get a new customer or to renew an existing customer.
Right.
I mean, you've got an opportunity to provide some meaningful incentives to these folks, and we can start a long-term relationship with these folks. So.
Right. And we're dog days of summer now, so this really does come at the right time. This kind of gives that boost to the last days of summer before everybody heads back to school and we start planning for holidays and things like that. So hopefully we'll have I imagine we will have some great stories to continue to talk about with that when we also talk to you about Montreal, Quebec, and Toronto.
Yep.
Okay.
Looking forward to it. Yep. Thank you.
That's all for today's episode of the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of Alsco uniforms, where we explore the growth and challenges in our industry. Tune in next time for more industry insights, growth strategies, and tales from the field. If you've enjoyed our time together, please leave us a rating and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you want to learn more about our services, visit us at alsco.com. From all of us here at the It Pays to Keep Clean podcast at Alsco Uniforms, thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you in the next episode.